What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. So this episode we're going to be covering another item. We're going to be looking at the Dawn Crossbow. We are also going to be comparing it to the Dawn Sniper and the Vindicator. These are all items that we have already reviewed besides the Dawn Crossbow. There are specific reasons that I chose these other two weapons. So looking at the wiki, the Dawn Sniper does about 475 damage per hit, 825 DPS at 124 reloading, 100% PvE arm penetration, all the normal stuff. The Dawn Crossbow, it does 700 damage a hit, 512 damage, or I'm sorry, 492 damage at 24 reloading. But there's a couple things I want to talk about, and then real fast before we dig in, the where's it at here? I think it's up. The Vindicator, it does 800 damage a hit, and it also does 638 damage at 124 reloading. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about and why I chose these weapons. We have reviewed these previously. They're all very good weapons, but we need to figure out what the best item is and what's the best bang for the buck, right? So to do that, we have to take similar items that we have reviewed in the past and see if one of the new items can surpass it. So in my opinion, those are the two competing weapons. You have the Magstorm, but I think the Magstorm's kind of in its own game. I think realistically we're looking at the Dawn Crossbow, the Dawn Sniper, and then the Vindicator. So that's why I chose those. And this is my second time making the video, and I never do that. And I kind of want to talk about a few things because I didn't really like how the video, I'm not going to say how the video went, but there was a lot of things I didn't put into my thought process when I was making this. So let me open up the DF profiler real quick. All right, so what we need to do before we can even make any decisions here, we need to see how much items are. So let's look at the Vindicator. All right, the Vindicator is $100 million. All right, let's see if I don't even know if the Dawn Crossbow. There's not even a blueprint for the Dawn Crossbow yet. Hold on, let's see something here. Crafting. So, yeah, you have to have Dawn Crossbow blueprints. So you can't even get the Dawn Crossbow blueprints right now. And I can only imagine, I'm speculating, guys. I think the blueprints is going to be expensive, like $200-300 million. You know, I don't know what it's going to cost, but if it's over $100 million, we need to keep that in mind, okay? And I think it's going to be a couple $100 million. So the Dawn Crossbow is most likely going to be expensive. And then our last one is the Dawn Sniper. And again, nothing there. Dawn Sniper. Yeah, Dawn Sniper blueprints. So again, you got to track down Dawn Sniper blueprints and hopefully snag one up. Dawn AR, Dawn Blade, Breaker, Carbine, Enforcer, Chris, Launcher, Mag, Mesh, Reactive, Saw, Striker. Yeah, so there are none right now. And I can imagine they're going to be a couple 100,000. So just keep that in mind, guys, because I'm going to talk about a few things. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is the level requirement. So if you look at Dawn, obviously you can upgrade from X-Dusk and all that, but we're looking at Dawn items here. You need to be level 400, guys. So you can't even be, in game. Like, you have to be in game to use this. You can't be level 20 and be using a Dawn Crossbow. They're not tradable. You have to craft them, and to craft them, you have to do all, get access to the shops and all that stuff. So this is going to play a key role in my decision on this item. So I just want to level set and explain what I'm looking at and why my logic is going this way. So Dawn Crossbow, Dawn Sniper, level 400, and then you got the Vindicator. Let's see what the requirements are for the Vindicator. I believe, player level 120. So you gotta be level 120, and then you can use the Vindicator, okay? So let's just keep that in mind. And then the last thing I want to talk about, if you look at the Dawn Crossbow, it has a 100% chance to crit hit, right? So it's going to be critting every shot, always critical hits. Now, what that means, this gives this gun some value. If it's always critically hitting, you don't have to worry about putting points into your stats over here. So if I know I can always critical hit, I don't have to worry about critical hit. So that's going to free up stat points, which stat points, you know, point for point, I would say each stat point's worth a great amount of money, right? It makes the gun have so much more value. But I'll also say this, at level 400, you know, I don't really care about a couple stat points. You know, I have almost everything maxed. My dexterity, my survival, I could lower my survival, whatever. But I'm not concerned about my stat points at level 400. There's just no reason to be. So we need to keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. We're about 6 minutes into the video now. And we're going to demonstrate what this gun can do. So let me make sure that I have everything I need. I got my planks, okay. Got my ammo. All right, so deposit this. We're going to jump in and see how this gun compares. And actually, let me do something real quick. All right, I want to show you guys something that I made for our setups here. So I went through and made some custom setups, presets for my implants. I have a 15%, 30% damage, 50% damage, 150, 200, 225. So I got like multiple different damage setups that we can test. So what I did is I went and made a 30, let's just start out with 30% damage. So I made a 30% damage one. With that being said, I don't have any attack speed boost. So keep that in mind. This would be like bare bones, new player, 30% damage boost, and realistically no speed. So we're going to check this one out first and just see if you're a beginner, you know, how does this item stack up? Now again, the Dawn stuff, you're going to be level 400. So most likely you're going to have some attack speed, but we'll look at that next. And I think I'm going to, when I make these videos going forward, I'm going to have these different setups like this set up. That way we can actually see some real statistics here. All right, so we're in the southeast zone. We are looting. We have the Dawn Crossbow out. Again, it always crits. It's going to be a very expensive weapon, I would imagine. One really key thing about this gun is... I need to go into single player mode. One key thing about this weapon is zombies will not explode. We got to go into single player, guys. Let me go up here. Come on. I need to get away from the zombies. Alright, there we go. Alright, we're going into single player mode. Alright, so now we're in single player mode. Now, just keep in mind that this is an in-game item and that you have to be level 400 because that is actually key to part of this story. So, again, always crits. 30% damage boost. Now, it's more of like a, I would say, what is this? Let me see if I can see my boost. I have a 17% rifle damage boost just from using rifles from my proficiency. So, realistically, I have like a 47% boost. So, keep that in mind. No attack speed. And this is how fast it shoots. So, not a very fast shooting weapon. But again, I'm not using any attack speed right now. Let's just keep on killing. It is one-shotting. No issues. Man, my dog is going crazy. Let me go get my dog. I'm sorry, guys. Alright. I have no idea what he was barking at. Let's continue on. Again, I'm hitting for about 1,000 damage every shot with a 47% damage boost. Very easy though. No issues at all down here. As you can expect, it is a Dawn item. And with being a crossbow, it does have unlimited ammo. So again, very handy there. And that also, I know it doesn't sound like much, but you know, carrying 1 or 2 stacks of ammo, and actually watch me shoot this guy. No explosion. But carrying 1 to 2 stacks of ammo, that adds up, guys. If you have 2 inventory slots that are being used and you do 10 runs, that's 20 items that you could have scrapped. So that's like $500,000 or more. So it does add up because you're going to be doing more than 20 loot runs in your lifetime, I guarantee you. So you got to think about that too, because you're going to be making money back because of those inventory slots. But anyway, the exploding zombies, no problem. Unlimited ammo, very nice. 1 shot, 1 kill. If I had to complain about it, I would say, you know, I'm not a fan of the slow attack speed. But again, I'm using a 30% or 47% if you take my proficiencies in there. Wealth implant. But I'm using a 47% boost in total. I have no attack speed other than my dex. And this is what you're going to get. Now let's go ahead and switch. Let's look at the Dawn Sniper. This is the new item that came out. If you guys didn't see the video, go check that out. I covered this just like I am the Dawn Crossbow. It shoots through walls. Very nice. No alt fire. 2 shots to kill. And I know sometimes it will take 3 shots depending on the crit. Again, this is right now with a 47% damage boost altogether. .702 is what that's hitting for. But again, you're going to have to 2-shot. There's 3 shots. So 2 or 3 shots to kill with a 47% damage boost. Zombies do explode. But this has the benefit of shooting through walls. And it also will pierce enemies. So it'll shoot through one enemy and hit the next enemy. See if I can't find one here to show you guys. There we go. So we killed them too. So anyway, the Dawn Sniper. Again, another rifle, another looting weapon. Very easy down here. Still a great gun. But if I had to compare it to the Dawn Crossbow, I would definitely take the Dawn Crossbow. I just wish this did more damage. But again, you know, I'm not using a lot of boosts. I'm not using any attack speed. 30 or 47% damage boost should be attainable for most players, especially at level 400. And if you can't afford a mag storm, it's the second best gun that can shoot through walls, right? So there's that as well. All right, now we're going to switch it up, and we're going to try out the Vindicator. Now, this is one gun that I wish I would have known about a long time ago, before the mag storm and all that. It's such a good gun. So it has 2 fires. It's got your normal pierce fire there. That one took 2 shots because I didn't crit. Does 709 damage a shot. Or you can switch to the alt fire. This is the alt fire, and we'll see what this does. Now, the benefits of the Vindicator, things will explode, so it does not have unlimited ammo. Keep that in mind. But also, you can be, what was it, level 120? You can be level 120 and use the Vindicator. And that's a big deal. You don't have to wait until the end of the game to get or be able to use the item. And it's tradable. So a couple solid things there for the Vindicator. Alright, here's what it looks like. 1 shot, 1,183 damage. Now, if it doesn't crit, you'll have to shoot them again. That is one of the downsides, because it doesn't have 100% always crit. And also, you're going to have to put points into crit. So, That's one thing to think about, because again, how much is a stat point worth it to you? It's going to be different for each player. Again, like I stated, at level 400, do stat points really matter too much? Not really. So I think that kind of equals itself out. I just want to show off a little bit more of this. And then what we'll do is we will change it up. Let me kill another zombie with this. I gotta be careful these videos don't go too long for one item reveal, but I want to make sure I give you guys real looks at each thing here. Alright, let's go ahead and switch it up. So I am actually impressed with the Vindicator at 30% damage boost. Very, very good. Let's go ahead and change this up and add a little bit more damage and a little bit of attack speed. Oh, come on. Where's the zombie at? It says there's one around me. I don't see it. There we go. All right. Let's do a... I don't know. Let's do 100%. 100% with 15% attack speed. All right. So it'll actually be like 117 because of my other boost. So we're going to go from a 47 to 117 with a 15% attack speed boost. This is what it looks like with the bow. This is what it looks like with the Dawn Sniper. A lot better speed with the Dawn Sniper now. And the Vindicator. So you can really tell the difference in speed there between the bow and the guns. Alright, let's give this a shot. Hitting for 1500, guys. 117 boost, this is what you're going to be getting. So if you have a 100% damage boost, you're going to be sitting at around 1500 damage with the bow. And always critting. Very nice. Is it needed, though? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Do you need to do 1500 damage? And the answer is no. You know, maybe if you're doing bandits or something like that. But if you're just in the southeast zone, which is the hardest area to loot in, you really only need to do like 1,000 to kill everything. So it's overkill, and it's unnecessary damage that you're wasting to set, is what I'll say. If you have a 100% damage boost, you can probably balance that out with some looting implants or something like that to actually get the damage you need. What I try to do is get the exact damage I need to kill the enemies in one shot, and then I fill it in with whatever implants I can. Let's try out the Dawn Sniper. Again, you see me two-shot that zombie because I don't always crit. And the shooting through walls, again, very nice. It does go through one enemy and hit another one, so you can kill two enemies at once. The attack speed is where I think it's very nice. Just a very nice gun in general. Alright, and now let's check out the Vindicator one more time. Let me switch after this. Okay, let's switch to the Vindicator. And let's see what this looks like. Again, this is now 117% damage boost and 15% attack speed. Sorry, guys, I gotta loot it all. Alright. Vindicator, here we go. On alt fire, so I get the most damage per hit. Sitting for 1700 a hit, guys. The Vindicator. Again, is it needed? No, I do not need that much damage. Now, these are looting weapons. So, when you think about this, 1700 damage is great. But like I said, you know, the more damage a gun does, you need to eliminate some of that damage and offset it with, you know, damage reduction, attack speed, looting boost, whatever you need to do. Because when you're looting, you only need to kill things in one shot, you know, to have maximum, you know, I would say speed to get through everything, right? So if you can kill everything in one shot, the extra damage is not going to help you out. So if this was me, I would be taking off damage boost right now and adding looting stuff, looting implants. So you guys have seen the Dawn Crossbow, the Dawn Sniper, the Vindicator, and we're gonna talk about where I would rank them here. So with the Dawn items being, let me just hit escape here. Can I pause this? All right. So with the Dawn Sniper and the Dawn Crossbow being new, you have to get the blueprints. So they're going to be very expensive guns. I'm going to say 200 to 500 million. I don't know that, but that's just my guess, right? So if the Dawn weapons are 200 to 500 million, you can't use them till you're level 400. You know, I honestly would pick the Vindicator. And the reason that I would pick the Vindicator over these items is the Vindicator is tradable. The Vindicator is cheap. The Vindicator is stronger 1 for 1, hit for hit, right? The Vindicator is going to allow you to not have to use damage boosts and to use your other implants. There's no reason that I would pick a Dawn Crossbow or a Dawn Sniper over the Vindicator. You know, is it nice to shoot through walls? Absolutely. But at level 400, man, if I've saved up and I got all my implants, then sure, I'll upgrade to the Dawn Sniper or the Dawn Crossbow. But if I don't have all my implants and all my in-game gears, I'm not going to upgrade from a Vindicator to a Dawn Crossbow or a Dawn Sniper. I'm just not going to do it. Same thing with the Magstorm. You know, I said the Magstorm's a great item, and it is. But if you're a new player or a player still in progression, it's stupid to spend 500 million or 400 million on one item when you need implants and all this other stuff. You can get a weapon just as good for 100 million, maybe even better, and upgrade your other gear on your character, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying the Dawn's bad. I'm not saying the Crossbow's bad. I'm not saying the Sniper's bad. Please do not get me wrong. I'm just saying it's not worth the bang for the buck. If you got the extra money laying around, absolutely snag them up. I would probably go for the Crossbow because of the 100% crit chance. It's just very nice and convenient in the ammo. But if I don't have hundreds of millions of Dead Frontier cash laying around, I'm going to use the Vindicator over those ones all day long. And then also, look at your implants. You know, maybe you have to have the Vindicator. And what I mean by that is maybe you only have a total of 20% damage boost for whatever reason. Well, now you're kind of locked into the Vindicator because it's the only one that's going to be able to one-shot with that small damage boost, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of things to take into account. And again, stat points for the Dawn Crossbow. Maybe you need your stat points for whatever reason. That's something to think about. But anyway, my conclusion is the Vindicator is going to win out for being top dog. It has the highest damage. It may not have the best benefits, but the benefits it does has, it outweighs the other two items. So in my review, I'm going to stick with the Vindicator as the king of the in-game weapons. You know, when you take all things considered, I think that the Vindicator comes out on top. So let me know your guys' thought. I know this is probably going to be, you know, maybe even people would think it's a bad review because an old weapon is outshining the new weapons. But that's just my take on it, guys. So again, let me know what your thought process is on this. And until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.